Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unmissed Connections, and I'm really excited because today we're talking about something near and dear to my heart, which is video production. We have Stafford and Tyler Lessard here from Vidyard, and we're really excited to have you guys on. Thank you for coming on to our show today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to be here, Chris. Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
And so I did want to ask, tell us a little bit about Vidyard before we get into actual video production and working in sales.
Vidyard is a number of solutions around helping businesses use video productively and effectively across their marketing and sales programs. But one of the things we're most well known for, which we'll talk about here, is our Vidyard Go Video app, which enables sales reps to be able to easily record and send personalized video messages as part of their outbound sales prospecting, as part of their account management. And it's really about bringing your face and that human touch back into sales and giving you a much richer way to communicate with customers than traditional text-based emails and, social messages.
Awesome. I love it. I love using video as much as possible in as many areas as you can. So I guess the first thing we want to ask is we're doing a two-part series here. First, we're going to talk about the success and the uses of video in sales and prospecting. And then we're going to talk more operationally in a part two after this on how you actually get that set up, what are the best ways to approach it, and how to actually get your team interested in using it. But initially, what kind of results are you seeing by using video in sales and prospecting techniques?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're using it throughout the sales cycle. Obviously on the prospecting side, so we're using it to book more meetings with our prospects. It's a great way to stand out inside of an inbox. But it's not just in prospecting that we're leveraging it. We're using it in handoffs to our account executives. We're using it on call follow-ups. Instead of sending a long email with everything we talked about, we can do a quick recap over video. So there's really a ton of different types of applications, and we're seeing results all the way through to drive better engagement with our audiences.
One of the things that I think is really interesting across our base of clients and as well as how we use it, video is a very visual medium. And part of that, using it to stand out and get more responses is people having creative ways to use that visual component, to personalize their messages, to stand out and be a little bit more human in that content. And we find time and time again, when somebody gets an email that has a video embedded and maybe they're holding up something with their name on it or something, they're doing a screen capture, perhaps with their own, the company, their prospect's website. It's all about that, getting their attention and getting that click through by presenting something visual that they can immediately relate to and know, oh, this was actually done for me, and this isn't the million other templated spray and pray messages that I get. And that's a big part of the success for it.
Creating video takes a lot of time to a point, and you've kind of found a way to let people scale that. So it's not something that takes, hours to create a video for one prospect or one customer. Now, I guess my next question is, when you first engage somebody, what's that first conversation like when people are receiving that video? Are they generally pleased when they see these personalized videos?
It wows a lot of people to receive that personalized video in their inbox. They know it's not just a template. It's a great way to get your message across, right? And you'll actually understand if they're leaning into it or if they're clicking away, and maybe I'll do a better message next time. So it really gives you a great indication of your prospects' interest, as I said, and how well they're engaging with your content. It's a great way to do better the next time too when you're sending it. But most people are delighted to be able to receive that video and hear directly from that person. And as I said, no, it's not a template.
We also hear from a lot of folks that when they do have that first conversation, the person is wowed, but it's also, they have a lot more familiarity, right? And it's a lot more personal, casual conversation off the get-go. And I know even when you and I were talking about this podcast, we got a video from you, and I was immediately like, okay, this is Chris. It's like we're BFFs already. I get this guy. And it was a very natural progression. And I think that's so important in sales today, and it helps get over that awkward kind of cold outreach and really warm things up from the very first touch.
I get that. There are times, not like I'm far from popular when it comes to videos, but I do produce a lot of videos for our customers and whatnot. When I meet them, they speak to me like I've been friends with them for a lot of people I haven't even met before. They're just used to seeing videos that have me in them, and they feel like they already know me. It always makes it a fun kind of awkward conversation at first, but it's a great way to start the conversation, at least when you're trying to introduce to new people, of course. So using video in sales, what stages of the sales cycles do you see that they work well in? And are there stages of the sales cycle that you think they should be avoided or not used in?
prospecting, like we talked about, just being able to stand out. If you're cold prospecting, we talked about how you become familiar right away and you can deliver your message in a new way. And I think for a lot of our customers, we tell them to kind of look at their sales cycle today and look for opportunities to insert videos where maybe you're not converting where you want to be, because there's so many potential applications for this.
It's not just about a one and done, hit record, I'm on camera, introducing myself, and I hope they watch it. And if they don't, we're on to the next. It's about sort of dripping, different styles of videos throughout your cadence to make sure that you are giving, an opportunity to deliver different types of messages and also use different visuals to try to get their attention. So for example, some of our own sales reps will, early on in their outbound sequence for prospecting, will record a custom video with their webcam on. They might hold up, I should have had one with me, but they might hold up a whiteboard and write the person's name on it. It'll be like, hey, Chris, let's chat. And so that's a starting point, but then you're probably going to do a couple of voicemails, emails, and then you may come back with a video where you're doing a screen capture. And with screen capture, what our reps might do is they may actually bring up their prospect's LinkedIn profile up on the screen. And it opens up the talk track of, I was on your LinkedIn profile and I noticed you do A, B, and C. And, I help a lot of other people in the same types of roles or same types of companies.
Typically, you don't get a lot of callbacks from cold voicemails, right? So instead of saying, hey, call me back, our call to action is, hey, watch your video. Watch this video we created for you. And to Tyler's point, that gets a lot of attention for us, which is a really great and impactful step in our cadence.
And actually, Chris, would you mind sharing? I know that we started talking because one of our sales reps really wowed you with video.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why I kind of reached out to you guys, so I got you. You were prospecting to me. I got an email with someone sitting at a computer, and on the computer screen was my name. And so, I mean, I'm in marketing. I get, I know Vidyard, and I'm wondering, is this a personalized, email, or is this something that was kind of auto-generated? So I looked through and watched the video. It was a very interesting video. Of course, I got put into one of your campaigns, and I was emailed to by one of your BDRs, Zach, and he was very persistent. Emailed, I think, once a week for about 2 months. And then finally, I ended up sending an email back to him. And I just said, look, Zach, I've been reading every email you sent, and I really did appreciate the persistence. And I was honest with him, our team had a bit of trouble trying to start creating videos on their own. And that's why it hadn't really taken off here at the time, and why we haven't fully bought in at the time. And so literally within 10 minutes of sending that email back, Zach sends me, and I'm going to play this video, him directly. And he brought in all these team members to tell me this.
Chris, Zach here from Vidyard. Appreciate you reconnecting and reading all my emails and helping me understand that your BDRs and AEs are having a hard time, utilizing video. I want to share a couple of my colleagues' stories in regards to, Go Video and their first experiences.
Hey Chris, Daniel from Vidyard here. I know you say that your reps are a little nervous on using video. Well, I was myself when I first started here.
And so after I got that video, I was just blown away at how easy and casual it was for your team to just put something together, personalized completely to me, directly addressing a pain point that I had. I was very impressed by it. And so it's the main reason why I actually ended up reaching out to you guys.
Oh, that's great to hear. And can you imagine he wrote all that in a text-based email? And
yeah, I wouldn't have read it.
And you probably feel like you know Zach a little bit now, right?
I do, yeah.
More and more businesses that we talk to are seeing success with a variety of styles of their sales reps. And again, the stories that warm our hearts are when you hear people getting back to us saying, an account I was trying to break into for 6 months and couldn't, and then I sent them a custom video and they responded right away. And part of it is just that human empathy of connecting as a real person and starting to build that rapport. And I think that's really what it's all about.
So using video in prospecting and sales, it is very powerful, but are there scenarios where you see that video really doesn't have much of an impact, or even potentially a negative impact in the sales or prospecting process?
So you do have to think about, okay, is this an important prospect or an important customer where the time to hit record and deliver a custom message is worthwhile? Or is it somebody where I want to send something, off the shelf? But what we do find people doing to address that is they'll create sort of canned videos that they can send out anytime, just like they would a templated email, right? Where they'll record a video of their standard, pitch message or a standard response to a typical question, and they'll have those in their library so they know if I get that, I can just send that video off the shelf and go.
Yeah, the other thing I would add is ensuring that, you're adding some text around the video as well in the email or in whatever channel that you're leveraging, because potentially that person will receive it when they're in a meeting. They can't necessarily watch it at that second. So you do want to make sure there's some kind of message in there that drives the click through to the video itself. So you're getting them engaged enough that after the meeting, they'll they'll click on the video.
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be applications for it. Just how you use it in your process will be different based on, you know, who you're reaching out to.
Ellen and Tyler, thank you so much for walking through just the way that you can use video to be successful in sales and prospecting. Now, in our part 2, we're going to come right back in just a moment here and talk about operationally. How do you enable your team? How do you motivate your team to use it? And what does it look like to actually set up that production? Is it a lot of work? How much time should you be spending? We're going to discuss that in our second episode. Thank you so much for watching.